Hello everyone. So this is the second video in slope of a line. In the first one we had a detailed discussion regarding the slope of a line. Now in this case we'll be solving the questions based upon whatever we have discussed in the previous video. So if this is the first video that you are watching, then I would suggest you to please watch the basic video one first and then come back to this, because if you do not know the concepts, I feel that it will be a bit difficult for you to comprehend the question. All right, and if you know the basics, then it's fine. Let's get started. Let's not waste your time. So this is question number 1. Let me tell you what the question is. You need to arrange the three lines, that is the blue one, orange one, and the green one, in the ascending order of their slopes. Like, you will first quote the line which has the least slope, then the one which has second highest slope, and then the one which has the highest slope. So arrange the lines in the ascending order of their slopes. Draw this question. All right, let's get started with this one. So I told you that whenever a line passes through first and the third quadrant, you can close your eyes and you can say that it has a positive slope. So this has a positive slope. If a line passes through second and fourth, then you can simply close your eyes and you can say that the line has a negative slope. If the line is parallel to x-axis, then the slope is 0. So you have to put the things in ascending order. So you're going to start with blue, then you will go to green, and then you will go to orange. This is the ascending order. The negative slope, then 0, and then the positive slope. Alright, let's move on to the second question. Alright, try this one. Pause the video, give this question a try. Alright, let's see what we can do with this one. Now, whenever you need to form a line, we have discussed this in the basics of coordinate geometry. Whenever you want to form a line, you basically require two things. One is the slope and one is the intercept. These are the two things that you require. The first thing is, if you want to calculate slope and if you want to calculate the intercept, the first thing is you will convert this in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. You will convert this in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So this will become by is equal to minus ax minus a, or you will have y is equal to minus ax by b minus a by b. On comparing this equation with y is equal to mx plus c, you will get your slope, which is minus a by b, and you will get your y-intercept as minus a by b. You will get your slope as minus a by b and you will have your intercept as minus a by b. Now it's given to us that a into b is less than 0. If a into b is less than 0, can I say there are only two possible cases if a into b is less than 0, that is a is positive, b is negative, and b is positive and a is negative. These are the two applicable cases. So overall, if a into b is less than 0, then I can also say that a by b has to be less than 0. Because if a is positive, b is negative, b is positive, a is also negative. So if I talk about the slope, which is minus a by b, this part is less than 0 or this part here is negative. So slope is minus of negative, which will automatically give you slope is positive. Because a by b itself is negative, guys. Okay, a by b itself is negative, so negative of negative will automatically make it positive. Similarly, when you talk about the y-intercept, that is minus of a by b. Again the same thing, a by b is negative, so negative of negative will automatically give you positive. So you have a positive slope, you have a positive intercept. That means you can draw the rough sketch of the line as something like this. You can see that it has a positive intercept because it is intersecting the y-axis above origin, and it has a positive slope because it's passing through first and the third quadrant. Okay, so this is what you can do with this question. Alright, now let's move on to the third question. So pause the video, give this question a try. Now we discussed that when we were doing the basics of slope, that slope of a line is nothing but y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. That is change in y coordinate divided by change in x coordinate. Now you can take x1 y1 x2 y2 to be any one of them. Like you can take this x1 y1, you can take this x2 y2, or you can take it the other way around also. It won't actually matter, it doesn't really matter which way you take x1 y1, which way you take x2 y2. Okay, so I can say that my slope, which is equal to 2, is equal to a minus 2 divided by 4 minus a. So you're gonna have 8 minus 2a equal to a minus 2, and you can say that 10 will be equal to 3a, and a will simply become 10 by 3. And a will simply become 10 by 3. Simply plugging it into the equation and solving out for the a. That's it. Nothing else is required. Alright, so this is question number 4. Pause the video and try the question yourself. Okay, give this one a try. Okay, let's see what we can do with this one. Find the relationship between P and Q if the line passing through point A 3, P and B 9, 6 is parallel to the line passing through point Q, 4 and 0, 8. Let's first find out the relation. First find out the slope. So the line which is passing through A and B, I can say that its slope will be 6 minus P divided by 9 minus 3, which is 6 minus P divided by 6. So slope is equal to 1 minus P by 6. And the line is passing through Q, 4 and 0, 8, then I can say that, or let me take this M1. For this line, the slope will be 8 minus 4 divided by 0 minus Q. So M2 will be minus 4 over Q. Okay, now the two lines are parallel, that means the slopes are going to be equal, which means 1 minus P by 6 is equal to minus 4 by Q. Okay, so can I simplify this? I think I can. So it's going to be 6 minus P is equal to minus 24 by Q. Or I can also write that Q is equal to minus 24 divided by 6 minus P, or you can write Q is equal to 24 divided by P minus 6. So this is what you can make of the relationship. So it depends, actually it depends upon in which form the answer option is given to you, but you can go further than this also. It actually depends if they have given you in the form of 1 over Q also, because you can write this as 1 over Q, and 1 by Q will become like P minus 6 by 24, which you can also rewrite as 1 by Q is P by 24 minus 1 by 4. So if I was the question setter, then I would have given you option in this form, just to like confuse you a bit and just to check whether you can do simple calculations or not. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on to this question number 5. So pause this video and try this question yourself first, please. So write an equation of a horizontal line that passes through point P comma I. You need to find an equation of this horizontal line which is passing through P comma A. Okay, let's see what we can do with this one. So it's a horizontal line, guys. So if you have a horizontal line, then what is your slope? Your slope is equal to 0. Then your slope is equal to 0. So I know my general equation is, or the slope intercept form of a line is y is equal to mx plus c, right? If slope is 0, you'll be left with y is equal to c. That's it. What is the value of y here? The value of y is a. You can replace c by a, because you can say that if the value of y is a, then you can say a is equal to c, because you need to calculate c, plug in the value here, and you'll get y is equal to a. Okay, now let me make you understand this question graphically, because you'll be able to relate that way in a much better way. Okay, so I have this point P comma A. Let me draw the x and y coordinate first of all. I have this point P comma A. So this point P comma A can be anywhere. Let's say it's here, or let's say it's here, or let's say it is here, and let's say it is here. Anywhere. Now draw a horizontal line. So this is the first horizontal line that I'm drawing. If I talk about the green part, this is the second horizontal line that I'm drawing. If I draw the black one, this is the fourth horizontal line that I'm drawing. Now observe, take case of any of the four lines. Take case of any of the four lines. Observe one thing, that is the y coordinate is not changing, guys. Because if the line is horizontal, then the perpendicular distance of the point from x-axis will not change. So the y coordinate of the line is not changing. The y coordinate is not changing. That means you can simply say that for the line y has to be equal to it, because the y coordinate is not changing. So whether you take this as a, this will be y is equal to a, this is also y is equal to a, this is also y is equal to a, this can also be y is equal to a. Unless and until you know the value of a, you can't go any further. Okay, so this is what you can understand graphically also. Alright, let's move on. So pause the video and try the question yourself, guys, please. Alright, so let's see what we can do with this one. So we're going to understand this graphically because that's more important. Once you understand this chapter graphically, now equations are too easy to understand for you then. Okay, a vertical line passes through point m comma n. Find the maximum value of m plus n if m is a negative integer. Okay, so I have this vertical line which passes through m comma n. Find the maximum value of m plus n if m is a negative integer. All right, so I have a vertical line, which means the lines are going to be either something like this, like basically on the left of y-axis, or it can be something like this. Now the line is passing through m comma n. It's a vertical line, guys. It's a vertical line. Observe it yourself. If it is a vertical line, can I say the x coordinate of the line would not change, or the x coordinate of all the points lying on the line will be same? Yes or no? If the x coordinate is same, then can I say the perpendicular distance of the line from x-axis would not change? Which means I can say that this value here can be m comma 0, and this value here can also be m comma 0. Now it says that m is a negative integer, which means this case is not possible. Now when you talk about m comma n can be anywhere. M comma n can be here, m comma n can be here, m comma n can be somewhere here, m comma n can be somewhere here. It can be anything. M is negative integer. You need to maximize the value of m plus n. If you want to maximize m plus n, you will take the values which lie above x-axis. For the very fact that m is negative, but above x-axis n will be positive. But above x-axis n will be positive. Now you want to maximize m plus n, so now m being negative, you will try to minimize it. You will try to minimize it. So what you will take, you will do is, you will take m to be minus 1 and n to be as high as possible. N to be positive and as high as possible. So it can go up to like positive infinity. So what is positive infinity minus 1? It's again infinity. Okay, but anyways, here also the answer is not my concern. The concern is you should understand what you're supposed to do in a question. It's a vertical line, so the x coordinate will not change. M is negative, x coordinate is negative, so the line has to be on the left of y-axis, because on the right of y, x is always positive. Now you want to maximize m plus n, m being negative, so you will minimize the value of m, that is minus 1. Because you can go like for higher negative values, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 up to minus infinity also. But in that case, m plus n will not be positive. Sorry, m plus n would not be maximum. So you want to minimize the value of m, which is negative 1. You want to maximize n, it can be infinity. Or they can give you some other condition on n, that n is a integer value less than 20. In that case, n can be 19. The maximum value of n can be 19. So 19 minus 1 will become 18. Question can be reframed. If the question is a gradient question, then question can be reframed. If they want you to mark one of the answers, they can reframe the question. They can give you that n lies from here to here or m lies from here to here. Find the maximum value of m plus n. Like for example, let me give you one question on this. So the value of m is between 0 and minus 5 and n is between 10 and 21. Okay. Find the minimum value of m plus n, the maximum product of mn. Try these two questions and let me know in the comment box. Okay, let's see if you have got the concept or not. All right, let's try one more question. So you can pause the video and you can try this question yourself. Alright, so I have mod y is equal to mod x. So if you know how to open mod, then it's fine. Let's suppose if you do not know how to open mod, okay, then what you can do? Do one thing. I have mod of y is equal to mod of x, right? So take y to be some value, let's say y is equal to 5. If y is equal to 5, I can say mod of x is equal to 5, which means x is equal to plus minus 5. That is, the point is when y is positive, x can be positive, x can be negative. Take the second case when x is equal to 5. In that case, mod of y is equal to 5, so y will be equal to plus minus 5. Again the same thing. If x is positive, y can be positive, y can be negative also. So the point is when you talk about mod of y is equal to mod of x, the result to this is y is equal to plus minus x. Y is equal to plus minus x. You can simply draw the two lines now. So this is y is equal to x. And this is y is equal to minus x. So you can have a slope of 1, you can also have a slope of minus 1. Alright, so guys, these were the basic questions and the types of questions which you can expect only from the slope concept. Okay, I have not included any question pertaining to forming an equation, y-intercept, nothing. Simply concentrating on the slope of a line, that's it. Alright, I hope these two videos are gonna help you in understanding slope in a much better way. If you still have any doubts, still have any concerns, then let me know in the comment box. I'll try to come up with a solution as soon as possible. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Keep watching and keep learning. Thank you so much once again.